Good after morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name, well, as you can see from my this side, my Christmas jumper is Sean. I'm wearing my Shaun of the Dead Christmas jumper. Hey, but my name isn't Sean. My name is Graham. How are you guys doing? Also, it's not just Sean/Graham. We are joined by the man that we call Bibby. I'll read Bib.
Good afternoon, Graham. Just have to double check the time then. Just as I was leaning forward, I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but yes, it is the afternoon. How are we all doing?
Yeah, I did the same thing. That's why I went good, and then looked down, saw 12:15 as I was saying it. After morning. There we go. That'll do. Good after morning. We went live at 12:05. So that's not too bad, right? That's all right. We'll take that. That'll do. If you're in the chat, please do feel free to get involved over the next hour or so. As mentioned, my name is Graham. I'm joined by Bibby. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true... Excuse me, nice coffee burp. Ice creamy fashion. We are bringing you The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We will be bringing you the biggest, the best, and breaking stories from the world of video games. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on those stories. We want to hear your thoughts and impressions, though. And if you're in the chat, please do. Also, please give us your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. It's important that you do that because we turn this live stream. We are live right now on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. Ish. So we go live at 10 a.m. ish. Please do give us your thoughts and impressions, though, because the live stream gets turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. So there's lots of places where people watch and listen to this show on demand, over 105,000 of them. So please do feel free to get involved on behalf of those beautiful people. Before we do jump into the show, a reminder that ! Loot Drop, we give a subscriber a prize every single month, and one subscriber will bag themselves a prize on Monday, the 3rd of January 2022, the first prize of the year. Not even back into work for most people, and we'll be giving away a prize. Actually, I say that. We won't be live on that day, will we?
What, the 4th?
Although
no, the 3rd. Sorry.
We usually, we usually do the draw anyway. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
because we've postponed it in the past. That's a good thought. I'd not even considered this. We pushed it back to not the first Monday, but our first Monday of the month. Do you know what? We'll see. If you want to sub to the
both
channel,
be in the studio on the Tuesday. I can take everyone's name on Monday, and then we're both in the studio on the Tuesday.
I'm off on the Tuesday. It's Daniel's birthday.
Okay.
So I'm not back in until the 5th. And I'm pretty sure the 3rd is a bank holiday because the New Year falls on the weekend, kind of thing. So.
We probably should have had a discussion about this before. But to be fair, we haven't put an asset out yet. It's not official that you're going to even have one next month yet.
Yeah.
So
true. This is true. We have been talking about it, but we're not confirmed anything in assets. We've said we will give you the information of what the price could be and everything soon. So we'll confirm. But yeah, 3rd is an extra bank holiday, I believe. Okay, it may be the 10th then. Do you know what? We'll tell you. Either way, if you sub now, you will be a sub on the 3rd and the 10th. That's all you need to know. So just a reminder that if anyone does want to drop a sub on the channel, you will be in the loot drop whenever that does take place. That's the best way to put it. Right? Nice. We all understand. Let's see who is in the chat with us. Chappers says, "What up, fuckers? Just got out of hospital." Ooh. I've had the Rona and asthma, so it kind of fucked me up a bit. Stop fighting with Rona. I don't even know who she is. Honestly, Chappers. Honestly, you take the lad out of Sheffield. God. Yeah. No, you're feeling good, dude. Who's Nike Hayo? Nick Hayo 1, 2, 3. No idea. Nichio says, "Well, hello there. Good day, sir. Good day." Timeless says, "There they are, 2 men who actually appreciate and love me. You get them right, we do." I'll read Timeless. How's things? I mean, you turning up was inevitable. How are we doing? Yep, 3rd is extra holiday. 3rd, 10th, at some point in January. Who cares? It'll be before the 15th, because that's what day it is now. So if you subscribe now, we'll do it before then. Some point, so you're guaranteed to get involved with the prize. Nice. Looking all snazzy there in the ICU studio, babe.
Thank you very much, Graham. Yeah, it's looking pretty glamorous, isn't it? I mean, there's no chair here for me, but your microphone is just lingering to the side of me.
I mean, you did a good
one sat.
did a good job in the cleanup as well, taking down all those banners and balloons and things from the other day. Because when I came in on Tuesday, there was like there was no hint that there was any balloons or banners or anything up there. So good effort.
Well, you didn't look hard enough because there was them party popper things that were down there still with a little bit of string hanging out of it. So I didn't do the best job in the world.
I thought you'd given up on the poppers.
This is completely off topic, but what I don't need to be seeing on my Twitter timeline at this moment in time is Sergio Aguero crying.
Yeah, it's just
because that is going to make me cry. Yeah, that's going to make me cry, and I don't need that. Fucking heartbreaking.
I just keep seeing like the same sort of jokes like thrown about because he's had coronavirus like 2-3 times or something like that, and people were saying it's understandable that he's retiring. I mean, look at the shit that he's had to put up with like over and over again, time after time, coming back to the Etihad, and it's like okay, you've just recycled that from Lad Bible, who recycled that from Total Football or whatever. So yeah, fun times. It's shame. I mean, obviously hates one specific moment of his career, but he's an absolutely exceptional footballer. So,
which moment was that, Graham?
The one that you're drinking. I'm a twat.
I don't know what you're talking about, Graham.
Yes. You hosted the Tory Christmas party again. It wasn't a party because no alcohol was consumed, and we only had meats and cheese. God damn it. As a United fan, even I have a tear in my eye about Aguero. Without a doubt, he was sensational. It was class. It was class. I mean, the only saving grace is that he went to City and not Liverpool, where he was like badged at for a million years. Because then he'd have gone to a team that we actually, cared about in some sort of like rent head free way. Okay, fine. Aguero's a good player. Let's leave it there. So let's talk about some video game news. We actually have a pretty tasty day. I mean, the thing is, for anyone that's been around the scoop for long enough, we obviously bring you the headlines. And naturally, what we talk about and the caliber of the news that we talk about isn't anything that we can define. It depends on what's happening in the world that day. You get the proverbial slow news days every now and then. Those tend to happen very, very much so in the last week before Christmas and the first couple of weeks back in the new year. But we've had no real slowdown this year. I mean, December last year, how many times were we sat there going, well, it's a bit of a slow news day today. Whereas this year...
running 2 stories.
Yeah, exactly. This year, it's spicy me at the ball. Anyway, I'll give you a heads up of the news that we are talking about today. The first story is that Dr. Disrespect launches a AAA studio, Midnight Society, with Halo and Call of Duty veterans. The two-time is returning to game development with his latest venture. That's what we'll kick things off with. We'll then jump into what's been quite a divisive story. Twitch adds community feedback for subscriptions, angering streamers everywhere. Most content creators probably don't care why you unsubscribed, says Sean Murray at The Gamer. We'll then jump into our third article of the day, also from The Gamer. That's 3 out of 3 so far. Sony buys Halo Infinite and God of War support studio Valkyrie Entertainment. Valkyrie now rides with Sony. We'll then jump into the fact that Silent Hill's creator thinks a remake would need a rethink, and we'll finish off with some Minecraft. Not actual gameplay, obviously, but if you want to see some of that, then there has been 1 trillion views on YouTube. Sheesh. Fuck me. 1 trillion views. Yeah, that's like...
outrageous.
That's like half a month of the scoop. God damn. Anyway, though, Mr. Bibb. Obviously, we can't say his name because we are contractually obliged as Twitch partners not to say the words Dr. Disrespect. Fuck! I nearly said it again. Professor Unrespectful, we'll call him from now. We can say Dr. Disrespectful.
Is that in our contract?
No, it's not. Some streamers do have it so that they are contractually obliged to not play with him, and those are the bigger ones that
his mates.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much his mates. He can't play with his mates, which is fun times. Anyway, Dr. Disrespect has launched a AAA studio, Midnight Society, which is badass name, to be fair. It is. Are you excited to see the return of the two-time Bibb?
I am, Graham. I still watch him. I mean, it's not as prolific as it was because I am a snob when it comes to opening up Twitch, seeing who's online, and then clicking on one of those names. So I don't watch him as often as I used to do, but I still watch him maybe 2 times a week. 2 times a week. I love the guy. I love the guy.
Same. Okay, well, let's jump into the news. Dr. Disrespect launches a AAA studio Midnight Society with Halo and Call of Duty veterans. The two-time is returning to game development with his latest venture. Herschel Guy Beam, also known as Dr. Disrespect in the streaming world, has announced the launch of his own AAA studio Midnight Society. He is joined by games industry veterans like Robert Bowling and Quinn Del Hoyo, who previously worked on Halo and Call of Duty. Robert Bowling, I have a lot of time for, aka 402, massive in terms of bringing Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, that sort of era of Call of Duty. So he is my guy. Yeah. Anyway, the announcement isn't a surprise, as Beam already made his intentions known about opening his own studio. He even posted a job listing for the studio head, which we covered on the scoop previously, and it looks like it has become a reality, with Bowling filling that position. Beams aims to take a different approach from the mainstream AAA studios with a unique game development and publishing model, as reported by IGN. Bowling explained, quote, "Our players are the lifeblood of our games, and so often games get designed in a bubble with few touch points for the players to help shape the final product before it's too late. Our approach is completely open and focused on building experiences that evolve with our players, should I say. My vision is to make games that defy the one and done publishing model and reward all those fans and influencers who make them a success. I'm so excited to show everyone what we have planned." Beam added, as of okay, I get it. They've got the erroneous full stop. I'm so excited to show everyone what we have planned. Beam added, as of now, Midnight Society is working on a PvP multiplayer game using UE5 and is hiring for various roles across the board. This venture seems perfect for Beam, considering he is a former developer himself. Before becoming a full-time streamer, he used to work as a level designer for Sledgehammer Games and has developed various multiplayer maps for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Given his expertise in the field, combined with the experience of Bowling and Del Hoyo, this venture is definitely something to look forward to. Okay, we don't need to worry about previous stuff in the past. What I will do is hit play on the video within the tweet. I haven't actually seen this, so I'll turn the volume down, see where we go. Okay, how does that sound to you then, Bib? Midnight Society, we got Dr. Disrespect, we've got Robert Bowling and Del Hoyo I know less about. Industry big names all coming together to take on a slightly different approach to video game development and influencer collaboration. What are your thoughts?
Well, with this announcement, you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. Now, it's very easy to disregard this as just another way that a streamer can spend his money without actually getting his hands dirty. But I do genuinely think that this could be potentially a little bit different. In terms of Dr. Disrespect as a level designer, like, he knows game development, he knows what makes a game athletic. So I think he's in very capable hands. He's obviously looking for the best of the best staff, and staff that thinks he's worthwhile putting their trust in. So I think this could be a dub. We're obviously a long way away from. We know it's going to be an online FPS multiplayer game. That's probably going to be a battle royale. That's probably going to have live service gameplay in there. I think that's probably a given. But yeah, I think this is a dub for all sides. He knows how to work with influencers because he does Code Red tournaments left, right, and center. He knows what a gamer wants from their games. Like, he's just having to rely on Call of Duty, he's having to rely on Halo, he's having to rely on Fortnite, he's having to rely on any other Battle Royale game that comes out for him to get enjoyment of. There might be a lot of things there that he can take inspiration from. There might be a lot of things there that he can improve on. But overall, I think this is probably a good move for him. Will this mean that he will be limiting his streaming side of things? Maybe. He might, and I think he only streams at max 4 times a week now, maybe once at the weekend, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Does that mean now that he's probably going to stream Tuesday, Thursday, and not at all at weekend? I think so. I think his streaming schedule will impact this a lot because he will want to get his hands dirty. I've sat next to you in the office. I said, "Did you watch Doc stream last night?" While he was doing his level design for Rogue Company and stuff, and and obviously you might not have the interest in that kind of stuff to the fullest degree. I sit there and watch 4 hours of it, but that's the kind of stuff that I know he wants to do, and I know that he wanted to get back into. What better way than just creating your own video game company and just doing stuff that you want to do without someone telling you no? Apart from if it's obviously advice from someone who's even better at doing stuff than you are, then you can have that conversation. But in general, I think this is a good thing. Another studio, technically an independent studio now, is going to be looking after their a new game that might be coming out into the game sphere. I think this is great.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Where this goes because I love Doctor Disrespect as a content creator. Just I mean, I draw a lot of comparisons between Doctor Disrespect and people like Castro and people like Roly Polypotamus. They don't necessarily all play the same games. They don't have the same personalities. They do very different things, but they're very, very good creators. They have a good creative mind as to that little box that is your screen, your view of their stream. They understand what pieces should appear and when and how you say it and with how much energy to make it into a good show. And that's the most difficult thing on Twitch is you can have some really good ideas, but you might not necessarily be able to deliver them. Or you might have the delivery, but you might not have the creative mindset. And Dr. Disrespect, 100%, whether you like him or not, has that. He has that in buckets. So seeing him take that into video game development, kind of worries you at first if you don't know the fact that he has a development background. How much he has in terms of managing an entire studio is a completely different thing. But looping in other people like 402, aka Robert Bolin, he has led development teams in the past and has had his own studios in the past. So that's a really good move there. So if you take someone that has like massive input, I mean, 402, let me see what his actual, let's see what his Twitter says. 402 Robert Bowling. There you go. So he's got 500,000 followers on Twitter on his own. He's the studio head at 12 a.m. is the Midnight Society. Okay, so I can't see what he was before that. But he's clearly just wiped it all because that's. But 500,000 followers on Twitter on his own. He has enough of an impact on his own to lead a studio. Not a lot of video game developer heads have that much reach. I mean, obviously some of them do. The likes of the Kojimas and the Cory Barlogs and the Neil Druckmans and so on. They'll probably have that. I mean, what is Neil Druckmann on it actually? Let me use that for comparison. Neil Druckmann has 450. Okay, so Neil Druckmann is not as big as 402. Neil Druckmann, for those that don't know, is the Naughty Dog co-president. So he's brought you Last of Us, he's brought you Uncharted, and so on. So these are big names. These are big people. This is a good round table of people that can get eyes on products. I'm not sure what that means in terms of video games, though, and that's kind of where I'm interested to see, because we've seen Dr. Disrespect. He's played obviously PUBG in the past. That game fell off on the actual battlegrounds, and it fell off in the Twitch charts. So he moved on to Apex and through Fortnite and through a bit of Tarkov and to Warzone and so on. He moves around. He plays the trends exceptionally well. That's great. And when the trends aren't there, that's when we see him doing his own creative things, be that designing levels for Rogue Company or just designing levels in general. He uses a lot of his time to fill the gaps when the content is tedious and he knows that he can't get the best out of a game because it's a bit dry. He fills those gaps by using his own creativity. And that's the bit that has my interest, because yes, we know he's loud. Yes, we know he's creative. Yes, we know he's well-connected. Yes, we know he's got a lot of followers. But he can fill gaps with content. He can see, okay, everyone else is looking at playing Warzone because there's nothing else to play right now. They're just going to keep grinding Warzone and bitch and moan about the cheaters, but still keep playing it or whatever. Yeah. Instead, I'm going to develop some levels or I'm going to do something else instead. And that's the cool thing for me, is because that, whether you agree with the level design streams or not or whatever, that's creative mindset to fill a gap and if you put that into a development perspective, he could be looking at a game in theory and seeing, okay, everyone else is doing this in BRs or this in first-person shooters or this in survival games. We should be doing this. Or my experience from playing DayZ a decade ago should it should have itself led to this within the survival genre, and that's never been realized. So we could do this. So I think in that sense it's very good, because they not only have massive names with massive reach and have access to massive names. Okay, I bet if you look at who Dr. Disrespect has streamed with or conversed with on Twitter in the last month alone, you've probably got pretty much everyone. A round table of the big names. There'll be a Timmy Tenders tweet in there. There'll be a Courage. There'll be probably some Ninja slander in there as well, because it's the Doc. Why not? So you pick all of the biggest content. Shroud, the Dentist. All of those will probably be in there as well. Doc has relationships. Doc will be able to use those to a very high level. I'm intrigued to see what that leads to video games wise, because a lot of people will go, yeah, but he's a great content creator, but does he make video games? Well, he has made video games and he can fill gaps. So he genuinely has a lot of pieces that could be something exceptional. Not saying that it will be. I will wait and see. I hope it is. But I genuinely think there's a lot there in terms of, there's a lot of signs that they can do some good stuff there. Genuinely, I'm not the biggest fan of when you see celebrities moving into genres that they're not meant to be in. David Beckham gets a Hague Club whiskey. It's all right. It's not great. I don't drink whiskey, so I can't say. I'm going off of other words. Conor McGregor makes an Irish whiskey. He's an Irishman. He likes to drink. That's going to be great. Tastes like ball bags. I don't know. I'm going off of my brother-in-law who reviewed it. So kind of like, you're not a fucking. You don't make whiskey. You've just stuck your name on something. You don't develop video games. You stuck your name on it. But he actually does. So I think this is not that kind of thing. I think this is something that I genuinely am quite excited about.
So you don't think it's an endorsement then from the get-go, from the top down? Do you think he's going to have a large portion to do with this, and he isn't just the face of it?
Yeah, I would. I think that would be the case, because I don't think you can just be that. I think he will probably not run it the day-to-day. He's still going to have his time on stream, and he's still going to want to be, because like if he goes back to being behind the cameras, any of those endorsements where he has The Rock versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania kind of graphics sort of stuff, that stuff dies, because he's not face anymore. He's not a name. He's working on it. So he still needs to have his front of camera stuff going. But I can't see. I mean, he is very, very much a grafter. He has obviously worked his way through video game development, which anyone involved in video game development will be able to tell you more than I can, that's not a 9-to-5 job. Even though you might work 9 to 5, you're probably not gonna. You're probably gonna do extra hours here and there. You're always on. You're always thinking about it. How can I make it better? Oh shit, I've just thought about that. Let me just log on and do this, that kind of thing. So you take that sort of mindset and put it into content creation. That's a really good thing for content creation. The Doc, as a content creator, has been hugely successful because of his work ethic, his grind, as we call it these days. So seeing someone that has that level of grind, that always has, it doesn't just stream and go, I'm massively successful, let's keep streaming. He streams and then goes, let's all invade Area 51, and then has some fucking massive interactive video stream kind of thing, because he thinks about it. So seeing someone taking his streams to the next level in that sort of sense, I genuinely don't believe it's just going to be figurehead at all. I think he will be. I mean, he'll probably have to step back from some of it, but I think he's going to be. I'm trying to think of a good sporting example. I was going to say one of those like chairmans at a football club. Like you get some chairmans that are just business, and then some chairmans that have been involved in the game, so you kind of know their shit. But even still, I don't think that kind of fits it properly, because even still, it's like, yeah, you were involved in the game 10 years ago, Grandad. Whereas there's very few things in the games industry that the Doc doesn't know, because even though he's not developing right now, he's still massively involved in it. So. Yeah,
there'll be brands reaching out to him every single day for them to be able to try and get 5 minutes on his stream, and to try and do some PR stuff for them. So, like you say, he's very much going to be in the video game world, not just in front of your eyes in terms of what it is that he's playing, but you'll know stupid amounts of things. Like the people that he's bringing in alongside him as well, I don't think that they've just had their head buried in the sand for how many years. Like they will be coming full of knowledge. That's a reason why they're there in the first place. They're not just coming in because they are big names that have done something previously. They are very current and able-bodied to be able to create something that he deems is worthwhile creating. Otherwise, he won't be spending, I imagine, millions of his own dollars to be able to try and invest in this video game studio. Because this isn't something that you're getting together with your mates and playing on RPG Maker. This isn't the kind of game that's going to be getting made on that. This is buying assets for the Unreal Engine 5 like that. They are very expensive. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this comes. I can't imagine we're going to hear much within the next year or so. I think it'll be something after that.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time. I mean, I've just done a quick look at Quinn Del Hallo because he's the one that I don't know about. He's the guy from the Halo background. Naturally, I don't have the biggest Halo background, but he has been brought in as creative director. And his latest tweet 13 hours ago says, "If you have AAA experience, a passion for online PvP multiplayer, and want to push your creativity with Unreal 5 to the limits, this is the team for you." They're still recruiting, so it's going to be a long time before we see anything, and especially anything at a high level. We may get early stuff within 12 months, thinking Radical Heights level sort of early stuff, but we won't.
Don't say that.
Exclamation mark Radical in the chat, by the way. not that it'll benefit you, but you anyone else can play. So yeah, I am genuinely excited to see this. A lot of the times, I don't like to see empty celebrity endorsements and crossovers. That I'm pretty excited about. I genuinely am. I like Dr. Disrespect as a creator. I know he's chalk and cheese. Some people don't like him, and those people are wrong. But other people do like him, and those people are right. No, a lot of people don't like him. I get it. I understand it. But the way I would describe it for people, particularly Tito, because we know he's a big fan of spandex and wrestling, he is Rock in his the Rock in his bad days, Stone Cold in his bad days before they do the post heel turn. Obviously, they're all the heel and everything, but then they turn around to become face again. Yay! That's the Doc. He's somewhere in the mix in there, and it's good. I'm happy to see it. And I've realised maybe not having a chairman sat in a football club, but the simplest way to put it is, I kind of see the Doc as like executive director. So you'll have your board of directors that are in the office and doing things all day, every day. But then you get your executive directors that will just float in every now and then. Even though he's a co-founder of the business, I still see him. He's probably, in terms of an other functional business, he's probably going to have an executive director role. They will have big important meetings when he's not on stream, and he will go in for those, but he's not going to be there for the day-to-day, probably. Okay, jumping back. Where did we get to? Timeless and tasty. Goddamn right. Activision have been keeping you busy. Exactly. That's the reason why the news hasn't slowed down, because there's been 27 Activision stories every day. Although last year, it was. What did we have? We had Bethesda and the Blitzchung thing, which was Activision Blizzard. So they were keeping us busy. Oh no, that was 2019 to 2020 actually. So last year we had a year off from Activision. So nice, back again. Timeless says, I prefer to renew my sub manually, is always my go-to option. Do you know what? Same. Purely because Ice Cream Uploads is a Jelly Media thing. I don't want to throw down subs for channels and then have the business commit to paying for them forever. So I will usually throw a sub down. I might throw a 6-month sub down, but then turn off auto renew. Which is a shame, because it means a few of our streaks have broken, but I'd rather be financially stable than that. But we'll come on to that in just a second. If you don't know what that conversation about subs is about, we'll jump onto that in a second, because that's the second story of the day. Nietzsche says, beam. Quite appropriate. What do you think is a beam? Ironically, he's called Guy Beam. So do you think he's a Guy Beam? Do you not like Dr. Disrespect? I adore his creative mind and his output. I understand why people wouldn't like it, but for me, yeah, all day.
He does it better.
Back to back. 993, 94. Yeah. Vern, good after morning. How are we doing? Thank you for the horn. Definitely. Thank you very much, David. To be honest, this sounds like more like an endorsement than Dr. D launched as a studio. Will be interesting to see the business model. Is he just the face of the company, the PR, if you like? Oh, we touched on that one already. I don't think so. I don't think that he is the kind of person, I mean, I don't know him, but I don't think he's the kind of person, from what I've seen and how involved he has been in multiple things, I don't think he's the kind of person that would just stick his face on it. Also, I don't believe with his position, he could just stick his face on it. Because if they do some dodgy shit, they make a game that's crap, that pulls the Doctor Disrespect brand down. The fact that he's put his name to that, he would be dragged down from that. If they do any stuff that's a bit dodgy, if they underpay creators and stuff, Doctor Disrespect's brand gets pulled down with that. So I don't think it would be that. I think he is keeping himself separate. There's still Doctor Disrespect and there's still Midnight Society, but he's close enough that he will be involved. Yeah, so he can keep himself separate, but he has to be involved at the same time. It can only be a good thing. Whether it ends up being a good product, who knows? Exactly. That's the thing. And I would be surprised if they push shit products because of who's there. Like, imagine being that guy that's got all the cool friends. Yeah, I'm fucking me and Ninja and Shroud and whatever, and then you whip out like, oh guys, I've got something cool for you. I've got a new phone. Let's go. And then obviously a phone's quite ironic because the Doc uses a flip phone. But imagine you pulled out a fucking Motorola Memphis or something like that. Look at this, boys, and everyone's like, oh shit, is it? Oh no.
Motorola Memphis, Jesus, that's been a while.
Yeah, exactly. So at that point, you'd be like, "Yikes! I know you're my friend, but I'm not showing anyone off that Motorola Memphis because it's a Motorola Memphis, Doc. Nope. And it just becomes one thing that they are very apparent about, very good at, and is very apparent is if the Doc does something stupid, they will take the piss. If Tim the Tatman, does something stupid, they, being the other creators around him, will take the piss because you can't hide from the truth. So all you can do is embrace it in that circle. If they go, oh no, it's the Doc. Yeah, it's fine. It's a great game, this. And everyone's going, it's fucking terrible. And they're all going, no, it's proper good. It doesn't take off. You have to be truthful with it. So I feel like he has to be involved. And if the product is shit, then it will hurt. So I think we may see a shit product. There's a good chance of that. Just as much as there is seeing a great product. For the first one, we could see something that's a bit garbage. And then at that point, either Midnight Society dies or we see them learn fast. And then the next one's good. But yeah, we'll see. Doctor! Good after morning, dude. How are you doing? Thugs as well. How are you doing, mate? I dropped in your stream. Obviously, you know, because you were speaking to me. I dropped in, and just as I dropped in last night, fish and chips were ready. We're having homemade fish and chips. I was like, hey, oh, fuck, food's here. Bye. Lurking again. So how'd you get on, dude? Tito says, Robert Bolden listed the studio head, Dr. D, visionary, Quinn Deloyo, creative director. Doesn't sound like he has a big role. I can't see it. I can't see it. I think he would have to be involved in some capacity. Maybe as time goes on, maybe less, or maybe they include him in the and I hate this is a proper business phrase, the blue sky thinking sort of meetings where you sit there and you think about the direction for the future. No doubt he'll be involved in that sort of stuff. And going on, I reckon he'll be heavily involved right now, and you can guarantee a lot of sponsors and stuff at this point in time are like, okay, we'll book in a meeting. We've got $500,000 that we'd happily like to invest into 12 a.m. Can we book in a meeting? Yep. Okay. Is the Doc going to be there? And it's like it's not a question. It's we've got $500,000. Get the Doc in a meeting and we'll talk about it. But if he's not in the meeting, then we're not going to be. So I reckon as time goes on, he may drop back to just being the creative mindset kind of stuff. Because a visionary, what is a visionary? In terms of job role, that's creative director just rebranded to make the Doc sound badass. So yeah, and creative directors are hugely important. So yeah, I wouldn't underestimate that role. Anyone see the news that apparently there's a Bully 2 coming out? Yes, we did yesterday on the Scoop. Twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads ads.
Yeah.
Was supposed to be shown at the TGAs. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday at twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads ads. Yeah, we did. It was yesterday's lead story. Tito says, blue sky thinking. You start using corporate terms like that, and that's what I'll be quoting when I choose my unsubscribe reason. Do you know what? You need to think outside the box, Tito. Let's all just sit down, have a creative mind meld, chew the fat, and then maybe we can just pick off the low-hanging fruit as we all move forward together. Nice. Ugh. Nice. I hate all that shit. If anyone's worked with me in a corporate environment, I will occasionally use those words, but they are always prefaced with I hate this word.
Yeah. Jay, Mr. Hughes loves them.
He does.
Jay absolutely loves them. Every other word that comes out of his gob.
100%. I hate it. I mean, he came from an education-based background, though. He was working like education and so on. So I understand. For me, no. I mean, I came from digital marketing where everyone was like skinny jeans, thin tie. Nope. Low hanging fruit is the one that I hate. Let's just pick off the low hanging fruit. Oh, why don't we just do the easy stuff first, mate? Why don't you just say that? I don't fucking want to. I'd rather have a low hanging steak. If you talk to me about that, then yes, please. God. Anyway, who's that? Speaking about unsubscribing, as Tito wants to do, and we've been trying to get him to do it for a while. We keep talking about like spandex and singing badly and Christmas and stuff because he keeps saying that that's what he doesn't like, but yet here he is resubscribing. So I think, like I've said a few times over the last few weeks, the lady doth protest too much. Anyway, moving into the next article. Twitch adds community feedback for subscriptions, angering streamers everywhere. Do let us know what you guys think about this, because this has been very split with the way that people think about this. I'm not going to give you what we think until the end, so feel free to start throwing your thoughts into the chat now. We'll cover it as we get to the end. But most content creators probably don't care why you unsubscribed, says the tagline of this article. The body, though, says Twitch has added a new feature for content creators today. Subscribers that leave a channel will now be asked why they're unsubscribing, with that feedback viewable by content creators in aggregate. Twitch says this feature was long requested. Was long been requested? I'm assuming that should say has. Twitch says this feature has long been requested, so content creators can better serve their viewers. But it seems only the largest channels can benefit from the data. Mr. iLotus UK, do me a favor, type ! Lotus in the chat. Do it. I want to see how loud it is. Diggermeister. Is that, how loud is that? How loud was that? The Triggermeister. Was that loud enough? I mean, I was talking, so maybe it didn't come through, but not very. Okay, I'll boost it up. So anyway, Twitch has added a new feature for content creators today. I've gone that bit, actually. Twitch says this feature has long been requested so content creators can better serve their viewers, but it seems only the largest channels can benefit from the data. When a subscriber clicks that unsubscribe button, they'll now be handed a survey asking for the reason for their leaving. Those reasons can include a change in payment method, wanting to subscribe month to month, a conflict with a streamer's schedule, financial reasons, or the ever-fashionable other. The user's selection is then sent to the content creator, who can view all their data in their channel analytics tab in a big chart. Twitch seems to think a change in the viewer's schedule is ultimately what leads to most cancellations, but many responses on Twitter say that financial reasons might be a greater concern in today's economy. In either case, there's very little that the content creator can do to keep these subscribers from leaving, so having this data won't be all that helpful. Most streamers understand that paying for Twitch content isn't something that everyone can do, and while they're sad to see paid subscribers go, everyone understands that you got to take care of yourself. Some Twitch streamers have even taken a step further by limiting the amount that anyone can donate in tips. A much bigger problem for the platform has been hate raids. Actually, you know, this goes off topic, so we've spoken about hate raids and stuff in the past. Let's stick with this right now. So Twitch has now added a community feedback option. So you can say why you are subscribing. And the title says this is angering streamers everywhere. What do you guys think? What do you think, Bib?
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways that you could potentially look at this, and I'll start with the business side of things. We spoke about this before we went live. Like, if you are a content creator and that is your full-time job, I imagine this information would be quite useful, because you are finding out why people are unsubscribing, whether or not it's because you've changed your stream schedule and it doesn't fit with their now viewing schedule. Like, if we go live during the morning, let's be honest, a lot of people are probably working at this time.
Ish.
People will ish, yeah, looking at you, Tito. A lot of people usually just drop into our chat, ! Lurk. They just leave it on in the background and they listen to us. I mean, that's great for us, fantastic. If you want to subscribe, even better, but you don't have to. But the people who want to save the £4 a month, or it's just not effective for them to be able to subscribe because they aren't watching your content anymore. Again, that's absolutely... Full-time content creators will probably have this and be happy with it, because they know full well then what their next plan or their next strategy is. If they're hemorrhaging subs left, right, and center because they've changed from going live at 5 p.m. rather than 11 a.m., then they know maybe that they might have to move back to the 5 p.m. slot because it will benefit them and benefit the audience that comes in to watch their content. That will be useful for them. But I imagine the only time that this becomes a massive negative if you struggle with what's the phrase that people say when they're not confident in their own ability? Feel like
I'm Bibby.
Yes, well, that's far from it because I know I'm fucking way better than I actually show. But what is it? It's like they feel like they're a phony or something like that, and they're struggling with. I can't remember the phrase, and it's doing my head in.
And I can't. It's
imposter syndrome.
Imposter. That's the one. Imposter syndrome.
People think that they are an imposter. Like they don't think that if people are unsubscribing because they don't think that they're good enough or something like that, because they might not have many to begin with. They might only have like maybe 10 subscribers, and then that goes down to 3, and it makes that feel like their streams aren't as good anymore, or people don't find them entertaining. I imagine that might be a little bit detrimental to those people, but I mean, I imagine that you don't look like there's no, you can't have. Maybe you should be able to turn it off and then not see it altogether. But I imagine any feedback's better than no feedback, because I imagine it went from 10 to 3 and you didn't know why. That would probably piss you off more than people saying you've changed your stream time, or you're playing a game that I wasn't down with in the first. That I'm not down with. Like you've moved from playing Skyrim and now you're playing Cyberpunk or whatever, and I really like your Skyrim content like that. That's a lot more. That's useful than people just going, "I'm never coming back again."
I find it interesting. So the reason I was trying to bait your guys' answers out because this says this angers streamers everywhere, and it does not anger me at all. So I wanted to see if there was someone in the chat that had a different opinion. I'm open to hearing different opinions, and we've covered some bits that a lot of people are content creators and they don't want the anguish of or the pressure of being a streamer, because being a streamer is like being self-employed. You've got no guarantees. Everything could disappear tomorrow. That contract that you've got that's paying the bills, that subscriber that you've got that's subscribed to your channel, they could both disappear. You might not get your freelance work booked in for next month. You might not get a subscriber booked in for the next month. It's akin to that. But freelance workers don't bury their head in the sand. So this, and I think the issue is there's two different things here. More often than not, and this is not across the board, more often than not, Vern, give me that loot drop, you swines.
Just give me the loot drop, you swines.
Legend.
As he said that, I just had a loot drop. I just had a cheese pastrami sandwich hand delivered to me. Ooh, lovely. Fine, Vern. We'll throw it at you. Thank you very much for the sub. That's taken a little bit of pressure off. And if you do unsubscribe for next month, do let us know exactly your reasons why by using the back of the subject. Appreciate it, Vern. 10 months. Love you. So does Bib, as I've seen from his Twitch stats this morning. Nice.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, what I was saying then, freelancers, more often than not, and I know it's not entirely do it, some people do freelance for a hobby, but freelancers, more so than Twitch streamers, do it for a job, so it's a living. So the stats are very useful. More on Twitch, though, and I don't mean more overall, I just mean more when you compare it to freelancers. A lot of people that stream on Twitch do it as a hobby, as a creative outlet, as a pastime, as a way to interact with people socially. So when you start putting numbers and reasoning and analytics on that, then it makes it a little bit more pressure-filled. But just because some people feel the pressure from it, I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I'm probably different. This in terms of I do this for fun. but on the side of my job, but also want it to be commercially successful. Ideally, we've never hidden that. Ideally, iStream Uploads would look after itself financially, would earn money, which means that we can make more content, do more giveaways, and give more back to the community. And the whole thing will then feed itself. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in that sort of sense. It's not at the moment. We spend a shitload of time, and the amount of time that we put in, if we take the money that we get from subs and put it into it, then we would be
in the red by a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we don't do it for the money. But we still want the analytics, because I come from a UX and analytics background, and analytics is very useful. Data is one of the best ways for learning how to improve. And if you see a sudden 70% drop of your subscriptions, and it's because you've changed your start times or whatever, that data is useful. If people unsubscribe because they can't afford it, they're going to do that anyway, right? I mean, and the questions that they get asked are, why are you unsubscribing? Because they've changed the schedule, because I can't afford or whatever. There's a button that allows you to skip that answer as well, so you don't even have to answer. So people are getting upset because the people that stream on Twitch for non-commercial reasons are upset that data that will help the people that do stream for commercial reasons is not stuff that they want to see. Well, just don't look at it. I don't get it. Yeah. I don't understand it. So not only can you choose to not look at it, but people can choose to not answer it as well. I mean, I don't understand it.
Wait, I would love an opportunity where you could put out an ICU survey and just say, what do you like, what do you not like, what times do you prefer us to go to live, what time is better for you to have stuff on demand, like all of that stuff. Any feedback is always welcomed. Like it just makes our lives a lot easier, because you're not second guessing what people want. I mean, a lot of people said that they wanted Masters of the League back. Maybe that'll return at some point. It just needs to be a valuable option for us, because it was a lot of fucking work to put together with all the green screen stuff. So it's any kind of feedback's great, especially when it comes down to monetary value as well. Because if people think that you're worth their time with money for you because you're entertaining, that's obviously great. But a full-time content creator would absolutely love that information. I mean, I'm just putting full-time content creators that may have like 4,000 subs a month, but I imagine people who are maybe have 5 or 6 subs a month would love that information. Like, why do you not think I'm worth your time or your money at this moment in time? Is it because I've changed schedule? Is it because I've played a different game? Like, all of that stuff should make you a better streamer and be more entertaining. If you are hosting a TV show, the TV show isn't doing so well, then eventually you are going to lose your job, and you'll get made redundant because the show's not there anymore, and you move on to the next thing. Like, all information based on your performance, because you are kind of an actor when it comes to streaming. Like, we are playing ourselves.
It's more like a circus. You see someone performing in the big top, and you've got to pay the entry to come back and see it in that sort of sense. If I enjoy it, I'll come back and I'll spend another £4 to come in and watch the show. But if you spend your £4 and the show's not even acknowledged that you're there, and the stuff that you turned up for, it could be change of game. Say I play PUBG, nice, but then you come back to the circus and I'm not playing PUBG. I'm off playing Words with Friends and stuff, which is interactive and engaging for other people and bringing them into the circus. You might be like, yeah, but I'm not asked about words and shit. I hate fucking Countdown, so I'm off. And boom, and you'll drop out the door. At least I know then, okay, well, Words with Friends lost me 5 subs, but it brought me 15 subs. So whilst I am gutted to see those people go, as a business, I know I'm 3 times better off doing engaging things like Words with Friends. So it's a loss that I'm willing to take. Or it could be a case of, okay, these Words with Friends with people, they may just be here for the one month, whereas those 5 that have unsubscribed, they've been here for 7 months. Whereas, do I think Words with Friends people are going to stick around forever? Do we have like lifelong countdowners that are going to be here every month? Yeah. Maybe I do go back to the PUBG stuff because I'm alienating my core audience. And all those decisions, all those conversations, you can only do anything with if you've got analytics. So I don't understand this. Angering streamers everywhere. I've seen a lot of people get angry at it, but you look at the comments, there is a lot of people that are, I don't want to see this. Oh, great, put more pressure on me. I get it. I get the angle. There is more pressure. But don't look at it. I mean, there is. If you look on Twitch already, there is an insights tab which will show you how long you streamed for, how many people watched, what your peak viewers was, how many people followed and subscribed within specific streams, specific days, specific periods of times. If you want to see that, so it's not as if there's not data already in there. This just adds. This adds, actually, you've got quantitative data already. This adds qualitative input, because quantitative data, you'll see a shitload of people, a shitload of numbers, but not really know the reasons why. You would then make assumptions why. This gives you some qualitative feedback as to why. So just don't look at it. I don't have a problem with this, and I can see some people might do, and I understand that, but for me, absolutely not a problem. GG Twitch, you added a big function last month, stopping people or trying to stop people from.
And hate rated.
What was the word that the harassment? They're trying to stop harassment generally on Twitch. That was a big move. This is something that's trying to help creators that are looking to do something a bit more substantial, which I get. We're not at the level where it really matters to us at that. But okay. Some people will use it more than us.
You never know. At some point, Rooster Teeth might come calling, and they want ICU to go under their banner. Do you know what I mean? But the only way that you can find out if you're even halfway there is by using the analytics.
If Rooster Teeth do come calling, then they can just keep walking, boys. I'm sorry, but we'll sort. We don't need. Okay, maybe. I don't know. We'll think about it. I don't know. Maybe. I heard you were giving away one of those analog pocket consoles in the loot drop. Tito, I can confirm that we are not giving one of those away, but I can also confirm that more than one may have been purchased yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Nietzsche says, are you needing more subs? Always, Nietzsche. I mean, you are on... Oh, you've written it there. At the 32 skill, you're at 132. I mean, that's clearly not 700 Nietzsche. Although I am kind of I feel sad that we've passed, because your name's Nietzsche 123 and we've passed 123 already. It would have been magic to have just got there and stopped. So now you're going to need to get to 1,230. Don't do it. Stop. Step away from the sub button, says Tito. Exactly. Leave it alone. I'm away. Leave it. Bad boys for life, yo. We ride together. We die together. Absolutely. I bet loads of people use other and then don't elaborate. But I agree. It's a good move and feedback. I highly see. I don't use the words snowflake very often, because it's a word that has a lot of negative connotations with it. But just shut up, put up, be stronger, because there's a lot of times when just telling people to have thick skin's not good enough. But this is one of those where I feel like, do you know what? I'm still not going to use the word snowflake, but I'll be closer to using it in this sort of situation. It's like, just because it might not be great for you, and yet you have the option to not use it, and someone else has the option to not even elaborate, but someone else could benefit massively from their career, which puts food on the table for their children potentially, then I feel like this is one of those storm in a teacups. People are just living to be annoyed at this. I don't feel like Twitch has done anything wrong there. If people can come at me with more information, I'm willing to have my mind changed, but nothing in this article. Angering streamers everywhere. And then I read through the entire article, apart from the stuff where it goes about to different stories. There's nothing in there that angers me at all. Nothing that's meaning that I have to sit down and read through all of my unsubscribed things before I start a stream every day, and give established reasoning why I've decided that I wanted to change my start hours and I'm not doing 7 hours today. There's none of that. It
doesn't feel slightly controversial, though, does it? Like, I don't think there's anything in there that would make you piss boil.
I feel like Sean Murray at the Gamer has seen the fact that people have had their piss boiled on Twitter and has picked up on that in the title, saying angering streamers everywhere, but then hasn't qualified that anger. So I don't feel like the anger is qualified in there. I think it's valid for some people in their situations, but I don't feel like it's angering streamers everywhere, because I'm a streamer and I am somewhere and it's not angered me. So what? You're giving away 2 pocket analog consoles? Yep. One to Ice Cream Uploads and the other one to Jelly Media. Nice. Just one. I've already requested another fix. However, I always say I prefer to subscribe manually as my go-to. 100%. Same. I would recommend people do the same as well. I would recommend, well, when it's worth it for you, I would recommend having manual subscriptions on because you can manage your finances better. Obviously, we all have more channels that we watch that we could afford to subscribe to, unless we're Nichio, obviously. So having those subscriptions means that you can still look after your own financial situations. Having them on the fly means you can look after your own financial situation whilst supporting creators. That said, if you know that someone is going to be around creating content for you that you want to digest for a good period of time, 6 months. Do your 6 month sub because you're saving yourself 20% or whatever it is. It's a no-brainer. If you're going to sub to a channel every month for the next 6 months, do your 6 months. Not us. I'm not even saying it for us. So I'm trying to think who we've watched this morning. West. There you go, West. I think we are like 3 months into a 6 month sub or something for West because I know that we're going to get involved in that. So yeah, there you go. They're nice. Do it. If someone's on and you know that they're going to be on, then yeah, do it that way. Do it that way. Where do we get to? You know, this article is one of those where someone once put a comment on Twitter, slightly annoyed, and headline says angered. Yeah, well, there is quite a few people that are angered. And that's where I was saying, I'm not going to call them snowflakes, but this is one where I do start to lean towards that mindset because a lot of people going, okay, great, just add more pressure onto me for this. And it's like the more pressure, arguably, is the quantitative data rather than the qualitative reasoning. I did see the only thing that I can kind of agree a little bit more with is the fact that this puts pressure on people that may feel guilty about unsubscribing for a channel. I get that because some people do go, do you know what? I'm sorry I've had to unsubscribe, but I've lost my job. And it's like, you've lost your job. Do not apologize. Even if you hadn't lost your job, do not apologize. That's your money. If you've seen something better, then put that money elsewhere. If I've done enough to make you want to subscribe, fine. If I've done enough to make it you want to subscribe but you can or don't feel like you should or whatever, that's also fine. So having that questionnaire could be a barrier for some people to make them think, oh, but I don't want to stop supporting them. And it's not a case of that. Being in a channel, watching and viewing is enough support. Going and subscribing is above the line. Already. So anyone that does that is already above the line. So I get that. And that's the bit where I think, okay, I understand. But there is also the skip option there as well. And I feel that just needs, rather than being pissy and angry and moany at Twitch for this, I feel we need more, not exposure, we need more people talking about the fact that it's we don't even know. We just need to make sure that streamers talk about the fact that you don't have to be a sub in their channel to be a valid member of their community. Because if a streamer tells you that you do not have to be a sub to be a valid member of your community, often enough, and it's clear enough, then hopefully viewers will feel that they can just unsubscribe and just click the I've unsubscribed and I'm not going to tell you why button or whatever, and that's it, and then just move on. Just skip. Jobs are good. And we do it all the time. And we were one of the first channels. As soon as they gave us follower emotes, we added them straight to the channel. Okay, you don't need to be a sub now. You can get involved with the stream. We've given you some follower emotes. Yes, there is more for subs, but there is stuff in here for followers. Okay, you can't afford to sub to the channel. Well, we can't afford to give everyone a sub to the channel that can't afford to sub to the channel. But if you stick around and watch for, I think it was like 250,000 sprinkles or whatever it is, I can't remember what the number is, we will pay for your sub because we did some fag packet maths that if you stick around for 250,000 minutes or whatever it is, that's probably going to be financially rewarding enough for us to take that hit and put a $5 on the channel for you.
Fag packet maths.
Yeah.
Oh, it tickles with our friends.
Blue sky thinking, mate. So yeah, we will pay for subs. We give follower emotes because we don't want people to feel like they have to sub. It does help our channel, and if we were more engineered towards making it profitable, we would probably have more. We've never had a subathon. Not that we never will do. We've never had a sub goal. Not that we won't do. We probably will have both of those, maybe over this year. But as of this point right now, we're not asked about building our subscriber base. We're asked about building a community of people that know that we've got each other's backs. And we're seeing that with Iceman in the Discord the other day, with Nichio giving every single person that's ever even sniffed anywhere near anything that even looks like ice cream getting a sub to the channel, which is exceptional. But anyway, rewind. Twitch adds community feedback. Gets hate. Yeah. What? Anyway. Other streamer killed me with a nade, and I was on their team. Unsubbed. wait. Viewer killed me with nade, and I want to unsub them. Actually, I'll give you your money back.
Thank
them.
You.
Yeah, there's £4. Don't come back. Cheers, mate. Thank you, mate. What's this? SBC tips. Is this? I'm not going to click it because I'm guessing that's just
FIFA stuff.
Yeah. Are you full of shit tonight? You want money. That's why you has. Are you full of shit tonight? You want money. That's why you has Bibby. Yeah, exactly. Bibby's my cash cow. All we do is roll Bibby out and just get him on get him on a bike, get him to do a few laughs. Jobs are good and nice.
Yeah.
To be fair, if I wanted money, then I wouldn't stream and I'd just spend more time in the actual day job. So there you go. It's, we've got proper jobs, so the stream stuff's on the side of it. So if we wanted the money, we'd just do actual work stuffs. But we enjoy this, so that's where the trade-off is. Is if you can do something you enjoy, nice. If you can do something that you enjoy, that then allows you to do more stuff that you enjoy, even better. So we do want money for ice cream uploads because we want to do the ice cream upload stuff, and the money makes the ice cream upload stuff. So it's kind of like the wheel that greases itself in that sort of sense. When's the PUBG stream this week, Graham? Tonight! Timeless. Me and Ilotius, the Triggermeister, are back tonight from 6:30-ish. Although the Saturday one... Pass. When I know that there's a day that we can put it in. At the moment, do you know what? At the moment, we'll just go with the idea that Saturday isn't happening. And then if it pops up, say, Friday, Sunday, maybe even Monday next week, then that's good. But at the moment, we'll just go with the it's not happening. Lotus is live. What, right now? Lotus is live right now? I don't believe it. Is he?
Don't believe it.
I don't believe it. Is he? Yes, I mean that's incredible because he did tell me that he was going to be live tonight. I didn't know that he was going to be live now as well. He is. He's live. Okay, well that's why we're sending the raid at the end of the stream. Nice. So we are going to raid Lotus when we finish. We aren't finishing yet though. So Lotus said that he might be live tonight. I might have just let that cat out of the bag. So apologies if that is the case. But he might be streaming tonight with me. Let's go. Holy Swizzle, yes. Just let's just do a double stream, 12 hours tonight instead. To be fair, I've almost done that before.
Yeah.
So
it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're like, shit, I need to get up for work in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if we'll say an average stream, not necessarily for us or for anyone in particular, is about 3 hours. Then yeah, I'll do you 6 hours tonight. Nice. Well, I'll probably do 6 hours anyway. Damn it, not right. Yeah, you missed the L. It was... yeah, there we go. Nice. Anyway, let's move ahead. So Twitch has added subscriber feedback. So if you're a subscriber and you don't want to subscribe to a channel anymore, you can add feedback. Do you know what I would say? I like that stuff, and I hope you guys don't mind that stuff because it's useful for content creators. If you don't want to subscribe to us, unsubscribe. Please do so. We don't want you to feel like you're forced into subscribing. If you want to subscribe, please do so. But feel free to unsubscribe, particularly if it's costing you causing you financial burdens or emotional burdens because you don't want to unsubscribe. Don't worry about it. The sub streak is irrelevant. The sub count, the little ice creams and stuff, the little badges of honors, the badges of honors, but not minimum requirements. So don't worry about it. Feel free to unsubscribe at any point in time for as long as you want. Feel free to resub again, but we don't need it. We would like it. We don't need it. And if us having it puts you out, then we don't want it, is the way we put it. If us having your sub is fine by you and fine by us, then everyone's happy. Everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth. Next story, though. Joshua Henry at the Gamer says Sony buys Halo Infinite and God of War support studio Valkyrie Entertainment. Valkyrie now rides with Sony. Sony is continuing the expansion of its first-party studios with the recent acquisition of Valkyrie Entertainment. The Seattle-based developer has worked on a number of popular projects, including League of Legends, Halo Infinite, and God of War. They currently appear to be involved in the upcoming God of War Ragnarok. Founded back in 2002, Valkyrie Entertainment has offered support to multiple AAA game companies like Sony, Microsoft, and Warner Brothers. Beyond getting help with God of War, Sony recruited Valkyrie to work on past projects like Infamous 2 and Twisted Metal. Meanwhile, Microsoft had the developer aid them on the first 5 installments of the Forza Motorsport series. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment teamed up with Valkyrie to work on Batman Arkham Origins, Injustice 2, and Middle-earth Shadow of War. News of Sony's acquisition was announced on Twitter by head of PlayStation Studios, Herman Hulst. In a brief tweet, Hulst welcomed the studio to the PlayStation Studios family and shared that they would be making invaluable contributions to PlayStation Studios franchises. The addition of Valkyrie Entertainment brings PlayStation's internal team of first-party studios up to 17. The acquisition of Valkyrie comes just a few months after Bluepoint Games and Housemarque joined the PlayStation Studios families. After the Bluepoint Games news broke, Hulst gave some insight into IGN about the internal growth of PlayStation Studios. He also shared that the studios being added to Sony's roster have to have a very collaborative mindset and need to be quality oriented. We are not buying teams just to get bigger. Before adding Housemarque, there was Insomniac and all of that other jazz that we don't really need to cover over now. All we need to know is that Valkyrie Entertainment, a studio that has worked with the likes of Sony and with the likes of Xbox on Forza games, and with Warner Brothers on the Arkham games, Injustice, and more. So a big, very well experienced and very well connected studio has now been absorbed into the PlayStation Studios brand. What are your thoughts, babe?
They are obviously a very good studio, Valkyrie. Very, very good studio. Do you reckon that they've ended up buying them just... obviously, to have them underneath their banner is fantastic, but do you reckon that they've bought them just because they've worked on some Xbox products as well, just to give them the middle finger? I mean, I'd love the drama to be something like that, but I imagine it's just because they was up for sale and PlayStation wanted them more. But the fact that they've just been working on Halo Infinite as well kind of makes me think that it was just the double swizz.
Oh, it sounded like you'd cut off then. It didn't sound like it was the end of a sentence then. No, I'm not convinced that it's something that malicious. I mean, I suppose it could be. I'm more thinking that I can't remember who said it. I think it was someone from the film industry came and said the video games industry is a bit like the film industry was 20 years ago. And then all of a sudden, all the studios started buying all the other studios to make themselves into bigger studios. And then it was kind of like a land grab. You will see that in the games industry. And this was after the Microsoft Bethesda acquisition. Stupid amount of money, obviously paying off because Deathloop's like Game of the Year competition sort of level. And that's something that they own now. Obviously PlayStation exclusive for now. But yeah, okay, that has kicked off a bit. PlayStation, which initially went out and bought a bunch of studios, kind of slowed down. And then Xbox went, boom, 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 boom. We see what you're doing. We're taking stuff as well. So now PlayStation are back alive again and they're buying things up again. So I think it's more a case of not necessarily because they've worked with Xbox, but that probably makes them more attractive. But I think it's just a case of, okay, let's buy up anyone that looks like they have good caliber in either different areas or genres or different areas physically. Okay, someone in Seattle, someone in the Ukraine, someone in Asia or whatever. They're probably looking at getting different games with different cultural influences and different niches that they can satisfy. So yeah. It doesn't surprise me. It's not necessarily the biggest story in the world, but it doesn't surprise me. And it's quite interesting to see that someone from outside the games industry said, okay, you think this buying up of stuff like hit its crescendo with the the Microsoft Bethesda purchase? That is just the beginning. And it's like, yeah, all right then. And then all of a sudden, yep, left, right, and center, sale. So yep, could be.
I thought it might have been like a Rick Rude situation where there was working on Halo at one point, and then PlayStation just come in, and now they're working on PlayStation products at the same time. You know what I mean? Obviously, Rick Rude was on WWF one night, and then went, because it was taped, then went to WCW because it was live, and they were shown on the same night. Like, that was devastating at the time for WWF or WWE now, obviously. But like, I thought it might have been that kind of caliber. But obviously, they're just buying them because there was up for sale and there was a worthwhile purchase.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more that one. The fact that they've done some stuff with Halo Infinite, I mean, that's okay. We aren't going to use that stuff because of corporate espionage. Honest, Your Honor. Yeah. But also, yeah, when we worked on Halo Infinite, we did this. Yeah, 100%. You're on it. Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, there will be those conversations. Naturally, that will only benefit for the next few months or so, and then it just goes down to having a quality, long term ally from the video games industry. And you look at the stuff that they've worked on. They've worked with the Nemesis system, which we were talking about just yesterday. So they have experience working across the Shadow of Mordor games, plus a bunch of other Warner Brothers games, plus some first-party PlayStation games, plus some first-party Xbox games. They have a lot of experience. Also, what it takes away is, I mean, support studios are highly valuable in the games industry because you can get a lot of brands have support studios that they run to for localizing, for porting to different platforms, for QA, for finalizing game, just supporting when you're in busy periods. Take away the support studios and make it your own studio. You take away support options from other brands. And this is a studio that's worked on Halo Infinite. So it's not like this is something that used to be good back when you was a kid. This is something that's still decent now. So that's a support studio that Microsoft uses that has gone. So maybe they're not taking them for the fact that they have Microsoft knowledge, but they do offer Microsoft functions that they don't have at their disposal anymore. So there is potentially that side of it too. Although that's a very, very expensive acquisition if that's what they're doing it for primarily. So that's probably just a happy bonus from the PlayStation side of things. Same thing with Xbox buying Bethesda. That's a brand that puts all of the games on PlayStation. Not anymore. It's a happy benefit. Elsewhere, we'll have to pick up the pace now because we are running out of time. We'll fly through these ones. Silent Hill's creator thinks a remake would need a rethink. This is written by Chris Scullion at VGC. Keiichiro Toyama says it's easier to remake an action game like Resident Evil. I don't know what that one is. Nice. Resident Evil, obviously. So the creator of Silent Hill has told VGC that he believes it would be more difficult to remake a Silent Hill game than a Resident Evil one. VGC reported in October that multiple Silent Hill games are currently in development after publisher Konami internally decided to revive the classic franchise. In a new interview posted today, we asked Keiichiro Toyama if he'd be interested to see Konami possibly remake a Silent Hill game given Capcom's success with its Resident Evil, aka Biohazard remakes. I think it would be harder to remake than Biohazard because the gameplay as a concept is a little older, Toyama replied. It's not an action game where you can just refine the action, as in Biohazard, to bring Silent Hill up to current standards or to polish up the graphics. The fans wouldn't be satisfied. That's not what it was about, how beautiful it was. I think you'd have to rethink the concept to make it interesting to fans. Toyama went on to discuss how he felt about remakes in general and whether he thought it was good to see classics being repurposed for a new audience or a cynical process lacking in originality. Unlike movies, games are difficult to enjoy as in the original state, Toyama said, obviously because of the platform, but as time goes by, mechanics, especially in usability, lack rationality and sophistication. Visually speaking, it's clearly not made for modern equipment, so I absolutely don't have any objection to modifying an original essence to fit the modern era in which we live today. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. We'll leave it there. Do you agree, Bib? Do you believe it would be harder to make a Silent Hill game, which is psych horror, than a Resident Evil game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like we've spoke many times about the differences between psychological horror and just out and out horror. Like and survival horror. They're two completely different genres. You can't even put them in the same category. One of them terrifies you to your core and makes you think about stuff, which is obviously the Silent Hill stuff. And then Resident Evil was just try and survive while we're throwing zombies and dogs at you and all these other tyrants and stuff. It wasn't necessarily. Well, it was scary, and and it was survival horror, but psychological horror is a completely different genre, and I do believe it is much more difficult to create a psychological horror because you don't just have to have a gun and then go and take down whatever's in front of you to get to the next point. Like psychological horror will have you doing and knocking around in an environment that will toy with your mental state. That's the most difficult part of it. Now, obviously, the famous story of Silent Hill team getting together was because there was working on other projects that maybe wasn't going anywhere, and they got put into a team together. There was people from disbanded teams, so they had to kind of come together with something, and they made a masterpiece. Like it was just. It shouldn't have ever happened, but it happened, and then they've been trying to recapture that for as long as Silent Hill's been going around. Like the first 3 survival horror Silent Hill games were masterpieces in my opinion. Like Silent Hill 4 was decent, but it wasn't as good as the other ones. We're not going to talk about anything else that came after that, including PT, but I agree with him. Making a psychological game, which most horror films nowadays aren't necessarily scary. They are just like slasher films. They just gore for gore's sake. Like they don't necessarily freak you out or anything. Like psychological thrillers and horror films are much more difficult to make. So yeah, I fully agree with that. It's an art that isn't just here's a gun, here's an enemy, get to the next point. It's something that triggers things in your mind that does terrify you. That isn't necessarily just something that looks creepy in front of you. I wholeheartedly agree. It's much more difficult. Much more difficult.
I agree. Because the thing is as well is like I fully agree with his sentiment of controls and functions and stuff. Because if you are in a world that has a modern control system, and then you pick up a controller for a system that you've never used before, say you aren't as old as me and Bib. I say me and Bib. Yeah, as old as me. And then you go back and play old school PS1 games that you've never touched. I didn't even know what a PlayStation was. PlayStation 1 was. What is this? Why is it also clunky and crap? Why can't I move the camera and stuff? It can be quite jarring. So you need to think about how you remake that going forward. And that's we've spoken about this essentially in multiple different guises over the last 2 years while we've been doing the scoop, that the hardest thing is remaking something while being true to what you've done and making it more futuristic. Not futuristic, more in line with present standards and for the future. And it's some things it's easier to do that. Picking up a gun and shooting it and going pow 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 is easier to do than something that doesn't have a gun. A lot of the guns and the action and the scares in Silent Hill aren't in the game. They're in your head. And how do you do that when the systems and stuff are changing? So I completely agree. Silent Hill would need a rethink if it's ever to be remade, says Kiichiro Toyama, and I agree. Finally, we'll just give you the stats on this one because it's not really worth scheduling. Jumping to the next day, but we are well over time. Chris Scullion at VGC says, Minecraft videos have hit 1 trillion views on YouTube. YouTube released a special video to mark the 1 trillion milestone. That is fucking ridiculous. 1,000 millions is madness. Anyway, no, 1,000 billions, should I say. It's absolute madness. YouTube videos about Minecraft have now surpassed a combined total of 1 trillion views. Do you know what? I'm not even going to go through the rest of the article. You can get it from the headline. That is ridiculous. Do you know, Minecraft, I thought, was not a game for me. And I only played it because it was something that Chloe was enjoying. But it's one of those things that it's kind of like, you'll put it on, you'll both be playing it. Chloe needs to get ready for bed. She's getting her pajamas on, so you carry on doing a bit. So then Chloe goes to bed, and then you're still sat there. She went to bed at 7. You're still sat there at 11:30 at night. I just need to finish this off so that Chloe can see it in the morning. And it's just like, was it for Chloe though? Is it for Chloe in the morning really, or is it for you? So yeah. It's funny because Minecraft has almost a Fortnite effect. You mentioned Fortnite to certain people, and they spit their tea at you. Don't say Fortnite to me. Minecraft, it has that with a lot of people, but yeah, exceptional. Really, really good game. Not a game I'm going to play often, maybe even ever again, but still, 1 trillion. You cannot knock anything that has that much success. GG's. Speaking of GG's and much success, that's us, and we're done. Thank you very much. Let's go. We are finished for the scoop today. Let me give a quick reminder. We spoke at first about Dr. Disrespect. He has a AAA studio that's just launched called Midnight Society. Twitch is adding community feedback for streamers so that if someone unsubscribes to their channel, they can see why. Apparently, people are pissed off about it. We don't mind it. Sony has bought Valkyrie Entertainment, a studio that's worked on a number of things in the games industry and becomes the 17th brand within the Sony PlayStation Studios portfolio. Elsewhere, Silent Hill's creator thinks if the game was ever to get a remake, it would need a rethink, and Minecraft has now surpassed 1 trillion views on YouTube, which makes it, like I say, half a month of the scoop, which is a good effort for the people that put that sort of time in there. But for us, we are done now. We are going to disappear. We're going to raid Mr. iLotus UK with DMR spray, so do not go anywhere, because Lotus hasn't streamed for a while. And you know, anything we can do to add to his viewer count is beautiful. So don't go anywhere. Go along with the raid, because not only do you make him feel nice and warm and fuzzy inside, but you get extra channel points to spend on our channel when you're here. The channel points are down in the bottom corner down there. They're called the sprinkles because, you know, ice cream, sprinkles. Get it?
Yeah.
Nice. Hundreds and thousands. And do you know what? If you've got hundreds and thousands of them, you can buy yourself a free sub to this channel. That's all we're saying. So yeah, stick around for that. Before any of that happens, though, Mr. Bibe,
Yes.
anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, again, thank you very much for joining us for this episode of The Scoop. 3 down, 2 to go. So if you want to help get involved with those shows, there's 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. All the links that you require will be listed for more, but all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow? Mr. Graham Day.
10 a.m.
Ish.
Just in time, in the chat saying Lotus is only doing an audio test stream, but has had subs and bits. So Raid may be very funny too. Just thought I'd let you know it's not an official stream. We're going. He's having it.
Yeah.
Test stream or not.
He's having it regardless.
Yeah, test stream or not. I mean, if you're testing and you get some people rocking up and representing, it's going to make you want to come back and stream again. So we want him to stream tonight. So yeah, any love that we can show him now, we'll you know, a little can say a lot sometimes. So let's do that. We're going to raid iLotus UK as we finish things up. But for us, for now, for Wednesday, we're done. Have yourselves a beautiful day. Well, not for Wednesday, because we're going to be back at 6:30 p.m. tonight, obviously, with some chasing crates with mates. But for Wednesday, for now, we are done. Until 6:30 p.m. tonight, we love you. Have fun. And stay frosty.
Stay frosty.